To another episode. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Today, we're going to take a brief history lesson of the founding of America from the first settlers and the first colony to turn of the 20th century. We're going to take a brief history lesson, and on certain things I'm going to talk about, I'm just going to leave links in the description box as well. And so, here we go. So the first colony was Jamestown in Virginia, founded in 1607. The Pilgrims you hear of didn't come until later. But both colonies, both of the first two colonies, second one established by the Pilgrims in 1620, which was Massachusetts, Plymouth Rock, both of them had assistance from the Native Americans, The Native Americans helped them build their colonies. So along we go 72 years later. The colonies are well built, but by this time, everybody's suffering from a mass hysteria. In the spring of 1692 in Massachusetts, in the Salem village, mass hysteria breaks out over fear of witchery, fear of people bewitching the children. So they called in the deputy governor, Danforth, and he started approving death warrants for people to die. This is where it gets crazy. So the death warrants come out, the executions happen all the way up until May of 1693. A little over 14 months this insanity goes on, and a total of 91 people were executed before the main governor stopped it. So, we come along to the Revolutionary War of 1776, which the main cause was the British wanted repayment for their assistance in the French Indian War of 1754 to 1763. So, along comes this Revolutionary War, and then in 1787 the Constitution was drafted, and the First Amendment was the first one written, which gave us religious freedoms. And the reason it was put in there, and this is why it's so important, and there'll be a link to this in the description box, is that the Founding Fathers were pagan, and America was founded on pagan values. The Constitution was finally signed September 16th, 1787, giving us all religious freedom to practice the way we want, so that another repeat of Salem Village did not happen again. Unfortunately, by 1791, and I don't know what it was, but the people of Maryland in the township of Blair had still not received word about the Constitution, and they executed an innocent pagan who was not a devil worshiper, Ellie Kedward. They banished her by taking her out during the harsh winter and tying her to a tree to die of exposure. Ellie Kedward sailed from Ireland in 1789 and settled in the town of Blair. Lived there for 2 years, till she was 26 years old, before they held a witch trial, which by this point the Constitution had made illegal. 2 years after it was made illegal to have these witch trials, they held one, and Ellie Kedward was executed in Blair, Maryland. That's the legend of your Blair Witch. So, along comes about 1795, 1796. our ships are being captured by Muslims whenever we're trying to sail them through the seas near Libya, what would today be Libya. Our ships keep being captured by Muslims. So, we paid a huge ransom to the Muslims and signed the Treaty of Tripoli in 1796, which was basically saying that this ransom we were paying is protection money so they don't destroy any more of our ships. And then from 1800 to 1899, there was just war after war after war after war after war. I mean, nothing happened other than a shitload of wars, and I'll leave a link to the Wikipedia as to what the wars were, how many there were, and all the explanations to them in the description box. So, in 1892, the Pledge of Allegiance was written, and it was written in a specific way to read one nation, respecting all individuals, regardless of belief or disbelief. Then, in 1954, in a complete violation of the religion clause of the First Amendment, Dwight Eisenhower, President Eisenhower, puts under God in place of that. One nation under God. Replace all that phrase with just under God. And puts it on our money, in God we trust. Before that, it wasn't there. So, I mean, that's it. We're all fucked up in this world. Okay? This whole fucking America was founded on pagan values, and people from the crown and from the old countries have been trying to turn it Christian. Okay? All Christian. And the thing is, Christianity is fine in America. All religions have a place in America, and that's why we have the First Amendment. Okay? But please, don't go gaga crazy over this paganism stuff and tell us that we're going to hell or that we are heathens or whatever. Okay? We pagans are just like you. This has been a pagan education of the founding of this country. Thank you. You can all put that in your pipe and smoke it. Till next time, Patriots.